Your dog is watching you right now. It has been watching you for years. Every time you reached out to hug it, kissed the top of its head, or held its gaze with that long, loving stare, it felt something, just not what you thought. And the gap between the love you're offering and the love your dog can actually receive may be the most important distance in your entire relationship. Most owners work from a simple belief: love is love. What feels warm to you must feel warm to your dog. The hug, the face-to-face kiss, the enthusiastic welcome at the door every evening, these feel so natural that questioning them seems almost unkind. But dogs did not evolve the same emotional vocabulary as humans. They built an entirely different system, one that runs on stillness, pressure, and subtle physical cues. When we speak our language to them, they hear something else. Not wrong, just different. And the difference matters more than most of us have ever been told. But the researchers who spent years mapping how dogs actually receive love found something that sounds almost nothing like what most owners do every single day. Let's start with the hug. It feels like the most fundamental expression of warmth. We give it to people we love, we give it to children when they're frightened. So we give it to our dogs, naturally, without thinking twice. In 2016, Dr. Stanley Coren at the University of British Columbia analyzed 250 photographs of people hugging their dogs. These were ordinary images taken in homes and parks, not in laboratories. He found that in 81.6% of those photographs, dogs showed at least one clear sign of stress: ears pinned flat, head turned away, eyes showing white at the corners, a signal animal behaviorists call whale eye, which appears when a dog feels constrained or unsettled. The dogs did not leave. They stayed, still, because they trusted you enough to stay. Now think about what that means. Your dog endured something unfamiliar because it loved you enough not to walk away. That is not a failure in your relationship. That is loyalty in one of its quietest forms. But here's where it gets interesting. If hugging registers as pressure and restraint, what actually works? In 2019, researchers at Eötvös Loránd University in Budapest studied 48 dog owner pairs using brain imaging to measure neural responses during different types of physical contact. They found that slow, sustained contact along the dog's flank, not the face, not the top of the head, activated reward-related brain regions at significantly higher rates than brief or animated petting. Slow, steady, sustained. Those three words describe what a dog's brain interprets as safety, as closeness, as love. Think about what that looks like in a real home. A hand resting on your dog's side while you watch something on a quiet evening. Not stroking rhythmically, not scratching, just still, warm pressure, present without demand. That specific gesture tells your dog's nervous system, the part of its brain that is always asking whether things are safe, that everything is fine, that nothing is coming, that you are simply there. And this is where it changes. Eye contact. Most owners have heard that holding eye contact with their dog strengthens the bond. And it does, but only in one very specific form. In 2015, Miho Nagasawa and her team at Azabu University in Japan studied 30 dog owner pairs across a series of natural interactions. When dogs and owners shared gentle mutual eye contact, the kind that softens, blinks, and breaks naturally, oxytocin levels rose in both. Oxytocin is the bonding hormone, the same chemical that surges between a mother and her newborn in the first moments after birth. It rose in the dogs and in the owners simultaneously. But when the same researchers introduced prolonged, unbroken staring, direct and held without softening, cortisol levels rose instead. Cortisol is the body's stress signal. It rises when something reads as a threat. The difference between those two moments is not dramatic. It is a matter of seconds, and the softness behind your eyes. Let's be specific about what this means. A gentle look, one that blinks, that glances away first, that doesn't insist, reads as an invitation. A hard stare, held without breaking, reads as a challenge. Your dog has been reading your face every single day. and now you know exactly what it was reading.
Here's a piece of advice most dog owners have encountered at some point. The best way to show your dog love is with an enthusiastic greeting when you come home. Match its energy, make it feel celebrated. It makes intuitive sense, it feels warm, but this is the part most owners never hear. In 2010, researchers at the University of Lincoln studied 55 dog owner households over several weeks. They monitored the dog's physiological responses, meaning their internal stress signals, measured through heart rate and hormone levels, during reunion moments with their owners. The dogs whose owners arrived home with high energy, vocal, animated greetings showed elevated heart rates that took significantly longer to return to resting levels. The dogs whose owners entered calmly, acknowledged the dog quietly, and then settled, those dogs returned to a calm baseline in under 3 minutes on average. The enthusiastic greeting feels like love. To the dog's nervous system, it reads as the arrival of high energy and uncertainty, something to match, something to manage, and that takes real effort. Think about the pile of laundry in the corner your dog curls into when you're gone.
It isn't doing that out of drama, it's regulating itself, staying calm in your absence by staying close to your scent. Your dog already understands the quiet version of love. A calm greeting is simply you finally speaking its language. And then there is this. In 2020, a long-term study at Oregon State University followed 37 aging dogs in the final years of their lives, and their primary owners over 18 months. The researchers were tracking something specific. They wanted to know whether the quality of ordinary daily contact, not play, not training, but simple stillness together, affected how these dogs aged biologically. What they found was not expected. Dogs whose owners regularly engaged in quiet, sustained contact, sitting beside them, hand resting still, no agenda, no performance, showed measurably slower increases in stress-related biological markers over time. They aged more gently. They remained calmer for longer. Not because of elaborate routines, not because of expensive food or extra exercise, because of stillness, shared, consistently, over time. The owners in that study, when interviewed, described those quiet moments as the ones they valued most. Not the exciting ones, not the tricks or the hikes or the games. The still ones, the ones where nothing happened except that they were together, and that was enough. Watch for the small signals your dog sends when something isn't landing as love. A slow yawn when you hold its face too long. Eyes drifting away when your gaze stays fixed. A quiet move to the other side of the room after an animated welcome at the door. These are not rejection, they are requests. Quiet, patient, easily missed. The response to each one is the same. Slow down, sit, let your dog choose to come to you. That movement, your dog closing the distance on its own, is one of the clearest expressions of trust you will ever see from an animal. Think back to where we started. Your dog watching you. Years of it. Every hug absorbed in silence. Every long stare met with a slow blink and a gentle turn of the head. Every loud welcome endured at the door because it loved you enough to manage its own discomfort for your sake. Now imagine the same dog, the same room. You sit down quietly. Your hand rests on its side. You don't stare. You don't reach. You just stay. Your dog exhales. That single breath, soft, unhurried, releasing, is the closest thing to "I feel loved" a dog will ever say out loud. It chose you, in the quiet. That has always been the whole story. What's the quietest moment you share with your dog? The one that seems almost too small to mention, but somehow means everything. Leave it in the comments. I read every one. And in the next video, your dog didn't choose you by accident, and the biology behind it is stranger than you'd expect.